Yes, welcome to Crossfire. Together with Sir Butch Valdes and Paglinawan, we have been discussing over the past episodes all the waters around us, whether we have to protect ourselves because of the dangers there. But this time, for this episode, we will briefly talk about what we can do with the waters as far as our fishing industry is concerned, how to make a living out of that. So I'd like to welcome my partners here and listen carefully because this is one of those episodes that could help millions of people as you listen to us. Welcome, Sir Butch, Sir Ado.
Thank you, and welcome again to everybody. Now, we're here to talk about something very important, salient, and maybe something exciting. And if we can make that exciting for everybody.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where in the planet you are. We are here again, the three of us, for Crossfire.
Yes, I was
Yep.
mentioning earlier that we were discussing water. Waters around us, waters that are under dispute, waters that are in conflict with other countries, etc. But this time, Ado was thinking of coming out with what we can do with the water surrounding us. They call it municipal waters, internal waters, and the waters of our coastline. Ado.
Yeah, Rita, we are a small country, but the Philippines is the fifth largest coastline in the world at about 23,000 miles,
Wow.
next only to Canada, Indonesia, Norway, and Russia, and bigger than Japan, the United States, and China. We have a vast fisheries and aquatic resources that we have not tapped. While we have only 10 million hectares of land suitable for agriculture out of a landmass base of 30 million hectares, we have 220 million hectares
Wow.
of inland, of territorial waters, including our economic zones, whether exclusive or disputed, 750,000 hectares of inland waters of lakes, rivers, and reservoir. And, and as we said, the 23,000 miles, no, that goes in and out of our territorial waters. According to Emil Javier Rita Butch, the Philippine National Scientist for Contributions in Agriculture,
Yes.
compared to our ASEAN neighbors, which have far less fisheries resources than we do. Our fish exports in 2015 amounted to only $473 million, not even $500 million, while Vietnam posted $3 billion and Thailand $2 billion. And I chanced at the 2020, 5 years thereafter, chart indicating how rapid Vietnam and Thailand exports have apparently grown threefold in 5 years, overtaking Indonesia. The Philippines was not even in the top 12.
Yeah, and to think that we have the shorelines actually and the
Exactly.
internal waters. If you look at Vietnam, they are just out there, but they're not surrounded with the waters like we are. Both sides, the Philippine rice or the Benham rice they call it, and then the South China Sea.
Can we show this chart? This chart?
Yeah, okay. So
This will indicate to us what the Food and Agriculture Organization would constitute the Philippine waters subdivided into 4 fishing management areas based on stock distributions and structure of fisheries and administrative region. Now, you would know that around the country, there is FMA 6 on the left and partly FMA 5B, which is outside our territory, left of Palawan, and FMA 5A, which is on the right side of Palawan, which is inside our territory. But more than that, we have FMA 4 and 3 and FMA 2 covering a lot of the Celebes Sea south of the Philippines and east of the Visayas and Mindanao, and most of all, the Benham Rise, or what we now call the Philippine Rise, the one on top on the right, FMA
North,
1.
North,
East.
yeah.
At dito sa FMA 1, Rita, Butch, bukod dun sa 200 nautical miles na EEC, binigyan pa tayo ng United Nations ng additional stretch na 150 nautical miles pa because of our
Continental shelf.
continental
Yeah,
shelf.
exactly. Oh.
Kasi doon kung saan, kung ito yung top shore,
Meron sa ilalim
ang haba,
pa. Yeah,
mahaba ng doon
Sa ilalim.
magsisimula yung sa dulo
Yung measurement
ating
waters.
EEC.
Exactly.
And since there are no other claimants, we have a certificate to our benefit.
See,
So,
that continental,
350.
yung continental shelf na yan, scientifically, they're also saying that it rises certain, I don't know how many centimeters and millimeters every year.
Yes.
So it's possible na yung continental shelf na yan, umangat, lalaki pa yung land area ng northern
Well, the Benham Rise is larger than the island of Luzon.
Luzon.
you know?
Yes.
And alam mo ba, pinakamababaw ngayon is only 30 meters.
Oh my goodness.
Lalabas na sa surface of the water.
Yeah.
But you know, there should be something that we have not discussed here lengthily that should be stressed because we're talking about yung mga outside the Philippines na economic zone.
Okay.
The sovereign rights to exclusive economic zones only constitute what is under the water. Hindi kasama yung surface. The surface constitute international waters. Hindi rin kasama yung airspace on
Right.
top of it.
Correct.
No? May mga nagsasabi, no, na erroneously, na pati yun kasama. No. Yung itaas sa territorial waters lang natin, sa 12 nautical miles lang,
Right.
yun yung hanggang
Airspace.
itaas.
Yeah, that's the airspace.
That distinction must be made clear.
When you say that you can only fish and gather the resources up to a certain,
Underwater. Pwede rin yung mga langis. Yung mga marine other resources.
of course, yes, that's actually what we are
Oh.
discussing last time as far as all these rocks, islets, reefs, etc. Kasi sa ilalim,
Yeah.
andun yung biggest supply of natural gas. Di ba? So,
Ayan.
kaya under dispute lahat yan. And the claim is there. But I think that will be resolved shortly if they will go back to what was already agreed upon 2 years ago with Locsin and the minister in China, which was again rescinded and then went back again. So we don't know where it's going this
So let's
time.
go to the next chart, which is the map of the Philippines.
Okay?
Ang proposal ko, doon sa kanan ng Pilipinas, doon tayo magngit-ngit. No? Kasi dito sa kaliwa ng Pilipinas,
Maraming claimants.
sa taas ng Palawan, meron tayo mga ibang kausap. So,
Puro disputed area doon.
Yeah.
Dito walang dispute sa may
Sa
kanan.
Pacific side, yeah.
Pacific Ocean side.
Tsaka sa
The east
ilalim,
side,
wala.
yeah. Exactly.
Bakit tayo nagsisiksik doon? Now, hindi tayo makapunta dyan. Dahil wala naman talaga tayong fishing industry.
Yan. That's what we're
Our
leading on to. Yes.
so-called fishing industry is really just nakatutok sa pelagic or yung tinatawag na artisanal municipal waters.
That's the inside of
At
our
sa loob.
islands. Oh.
Sa loob.
Yun ang
water.
ating binubugbog. Kaya nauubusan ng isda. Unlike China, halos kalahati ng taon sa South China Seas, bawal mag-fishing. So yung mga isda, nakakapangitlog,
They can spawn.
they spawn.
You know, you mentioned that because sometime back when there was this ASEAN meeting sa Vietnam about certain well, of course, lahat yung mga sea disputes na yan. Sabi nga ng mga taga Navotas wala na talaga silang makuna na maiisda doon. They have to go all the way to Palau even.
Yes.
Pero sa Palau, before you can fish there, they require na magtatayo ka rin ng cannery at saka fish,
Yeah.
hindi kagaya dito sa atin basta yun na nga, isda
Isda.
na ng isda.
That is
So
why-
tama yung sabi mo, nauubusan na on the South China Sea.
Yes.
Kasi kahit na yung mga usual fishing areas dyan, like Navotas for instance, because we met several of them there who would want to discuss with Palau and dun nga sa other side, kung pwedeng dun mangisda kasi ubus na dito sa banda. Sa South
Ngayon,
China
if we
Sea.
build a deep sea fleet and a fishing industry that can really go, no, deep sea, sa open sea, sa laot, no, then we might as well prepare what is on the right side of the Philippines. Why? Because this map is really a poverty map, poverty incidence map. And you will see that the poorest of the poor are really on the right side. Mas mapula, from pink to red, mas mahirap. And then it goes down all the way to Mindanao where there are a lot of really poor areas. So, I am proposing an inverted L where the absorptive capacity, no, where you will put the ice plants, the storage, the canning,
Canneries,
and all the processing, etc. there, should start on the right side. And I'm proposing one in Dingalan, in Aurora. Mahirap lang mga tao doon. Why Dingalan? Because Dingalan has access to Cabanatuan. There is a fish to market road. San Miguel Bay, isang mahirap na lugar sa Camarines Sur to service the entire Bicolandia. Sa Matarinao Bay, sa Eastern Samar, ang San Miguel Bay is only 30 minutes from Naga Airport.
Okay.
Matarinao has Gian. There's an airport there that the Americans built and still
Yes.
can carry.
Yes.
Sa Bislig, there's also an airport there. Sa Pagadian, no? May airport din doon, and sa Zamboanga City or Jolo, as the case may be, as further studies will prove. Now, why did I include 2 yellow spots? Because these are already existing. You know, when we were at the Philippine Embassy in Washington, we lobbied for an immediate aid from the Americans in 1986. Pinabagsak nila ang ekonomiya natin para maka-take over ang kalaban. Di ba? Pinabagsak nila si Marcos. Eh di, naturally lang sila ang unang magtayo. So we put up, kami ni Ambassador Pelaez, put up the Multilateral Aid Initiative. The Multilateral Aid Initiative, we lobbied for 800 million. Ang akala nila, nag-speech lang si Cory, nag-earn na siya ng 800 million. It doesn't happen that way. Kumungkot kami ng 50 rito, 100 dito, 200 doon, hanggang maging 800 million
And
yan.
what was the purpose?
Now, ang purpose nito is to seed the multilateral aid para yung mga European partners natin ay makapag-raise tayo. Ang target was $12 billion. No? However, sa 4 pa lang, hinihika na ang Pilipinas dahil wala nga absorptive capacity. So, hindi na ako pupunta sa rest of the story. What I would like to mention here is that yung 800 million, dinivote lang namin sa General Santos. Nagtayo kami ng airport dyan at saka talagang expansive seaport. Ano talaga, state of the arts. Dahil doon, Davao City became threatened. And private sector nag-compete. So dalawa ang ating existing hub of the capacity that I'm talking about. And because we built in General Santos, alam mo yung ating Sarangani Bay, sea bass,
Yes.
tilapia, bangus,
Bangus.
are now
malalaki, mga boat.
Tuna and some,
Oh,
yeah.
exported all over the world. Kilalang kilala sa Sarangani.
It's still in existence after this day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yun ang kapasidad na gusto natin i-replicate dyan. At hindi lamang yun. Itong mga lokasyon na ito has immediate impact on poverty alleviation
Of course, yeah.
and fisheries export development.
Yeah. We have a Bureau of Fisheries, Ado. So what has it done?
Well,
Nothing close to
unfortunately, 4.6% lang ng budget ng agriculture ang napupunta sa Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources.
There was a
BIFAR.
time way back, I think in the 60s or early 70s, bawal nga maglabas ng fingerlings ng bangus, di ba?
Tsaka,
Because we were supposed to have the Bureau of Fisheries tumututok dyan precisely. Pero yan sa mga fish ponds lang. Wala pa yung sinasabi mo that we can actually fish outside of those internal
it was only during the time of Duterte na nanganak ang ating Coast Guard. Pinanganak ang ating Coast Guard. At saka ang BIFAR needs patrol boats which will be run by the LGUs para makapagpulis sila at mag-regulate sila sa waters around them. Alam mo, ang laki-laki ng challenge dito. Wala pa tayo sa marine protection. Wala pa tayo sa maritime environment. No? Dapat, ang aking proposal dito, magtayo na talaga ng Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources.
separate.
Matutukan.
Separate. From, no, kasi ang pangalan
Oo.
ng ating department, Department of Agriculture
And Fisheries.
and Fisheries.
Oo.
So,
Ay,
the-
parang
I-
afterthought lang yun.
Yeah.
oh, it's a bureau. Oo.
Tama, I think I agree with Ado here. Pero I think rather than the first move is not necessarily to put up a Department of Fisheries. The first move is to rationalize
Yes.
the fishing industry
Yeah.
and understand exactly where we're going to go and what we want to do. Because the department is just going to execute what we want to
Visioning
do.
and
Right.
strategic planning.
One of the things that we must understand in a fishing development of a fishing industry is infrastructure.
Yeah.
Kasi development of fishing industry means seaports. Seaports means major cold storage systems. Cold storage systems means power, energy.
Yeah.
No? At kung wala ka niyan, hindi ka makakagalaw dito.
Pero bago ka magkaroon yan, checkin mo muna yung mga bangka. Yung fishing boats na pupunta sa laot. Exactly. Because there's nothing you're going to deliver in the storages and all of this, the
right.
canneries. And kung wala silang, kung yung ginagamit nila, bangka. So that is, I think, where it should. And then the fisher folk, likewise, how do you organize them?
The fishing industry is well organized. Wala lang silang resources talaga.
The capacity to fish wala. Pero
Wala
yung
ng
resources,
Yeah,
like,
okay. So
yung sabi mo,
the boats.
bangka.
Yeah, yung mga fishing boats.
Ito na, dito
Meron,
tayo papasok.
May inventory from top to bottom ang number of boats.
Okay.
Fishing boats. Very orderly ng BIFAR. Oh, but we have to also put in the aspect of cooperativism. Why?
Yes.
Bongbong Marcos correctly said before his swearing in that China is our strongest partner. At itong partner na ito, walang masyadong conditionalities. In fact, ang ating mga kapatid na Chino naghahanap ng negosyo. Para ma-circumvent yung state-to-state, yung mga sovereign guarantees and all that, pwedeng people to people.
Right.
Municipal, corporation and small watermen's association nila, pwedeng tulungan directly ang keyword is cooperatives. Now, ang hindi nalalaman ng karamihan dito sa ating bansa, dahil puro gusto nila, lahat sila gusto maging senador, is our barangay is a small republic. No? is a small republic. You know, they can even go into MOAs and business venture with foreign countries. Empowered sila.
Oh.
Pero walang take advantage. So the spirit of cooperativism plus the power of our barangays taken together is either a cooperative or a corporative avenue to exploit this opportunity.
So you're saying they have provisions to be able to enter into such kind of a cooperation with foreign
No,
private
even with foreign,
without any government
without municipal.
kasi government na rin sila eh. Yung barangay is government itself.
At national, pwede silang pumasok.
Okay.
Yan ang areas ng mga hindi alam ng karamihan eh. So, can you imagine a barangay is a cooperative entity that can sign contracts with foreign business, foreign and public or private. Can you imagine that? Wala talagang nagsusupervise. Wala.
Other than that, in what other manner can they be able to go into without passing through cooperatives? Kasi alam mo, right now, merong actually kinakailangan ayusin as far as cooperatives are concerned. Si Congressman yun sa Ormoc, sinasabi nga na problema nila nga sa electricity is because of the cooperative. Malaki ang kinukuha sa cooperative, hindi pumupunta talaga sa mga miyembro. There has to be some amendment. Kaya ang taas ng kanilang rates ng kuryente. So kung yung magko-cooperative ka, kailangan ayusin muna siguro yung idea ng cooperative.
Yung Cooperative Development Authority. Ang problema kasi dito hindi under yung sinasabi mong electric cooperative sa CDA.
Hindi kasama dyan.
Sila under sa NEA, National Electrification Administration.
But it's still the cooperative law.
Yeah, but
that
the
governs
cooperative is really functioning around a single family, a single owner.
That's exactly what
Yun
we have to
ang
avoid.
problema.
Yun.
Dito tayo sa CDA plus na barangay empowerment. Diyan tayo babawi.
Tsaka the way it's set up, Rita, yung mga sinasabi ni Romualdez, Ormoc ba yun?
Hindi, si Congressman, yung artista.
Yung
Lucy Torres.
The husband,
Lucy,
yeah.
The husband.
Yeah.
The mga cooperatives are already in the distribution of electricity. They don't generate electricity.
No, they don't.
So, and the old cost of electricity starts from the generation. No? And that if the generation is already expensive, no? They transfer it to the cooperative. The cooperative just supposedly distributes it, no? And makes a certain sum. Mahal na rin lumalabas. No?
Pwede rin yung cooperative lang ang middle.
Maganda nga yung speech nung congressman
Middleman lang ang cooperative.
Yung speech ni Richard Gomez, congressman from Ormoc, yun ang sinasabi nga niya, kailangan ayusin yung cooperative law.
Dito, depende on how the law of departmentalization will go. Pwedeng ma-qualify yan. Pwedeng empowerment yan is unique. Pero ang cooperative, pwedeng in between lang. Pwedeng may isang investor that will counterpart through the cooperative. Maraming kombinasyon ng pwede.
Pero maganda yung objective niyan.
But it must be,
I think
bottoms up.
Congress should work along this line. Kasi ngayong katatapos lang nila ng budget.
Yeah.
So you have, as you said, magkano 4.9% lang ang pupunta sa fisheries, which is very sad. But maybe something could be done where they could study already. So for the next year, magkakaroon ng separate department if there will be ilang fisher folk kung talagang tutuusin around the country.
Ang affected dito,
affected.
2 million families. Fishing families in fishing communities. So times 6 million, 12 million people yun.
Malaking,
Immediate impact, immediate poverty alleviation. Dahil binigyan mo ng livelihood.
I was pointing out kanina that China, we always talk about China having these big fishing boats and so on and so forth. Those guys started the same way with it.
Oh,
No? Mga liliit na
Sampan.
bangka lang yan.
Sampan,
Sampan
so
dahil yun,
they-
doon sila nangingisda.
Yeah. And
Why is
they
it
even
that
went
all of a
against the
sudden,
current, yeah.
their government, no, their people, they were able to go into creating a real fishing industry. No? And being able to feed themselves, 1.4 billion people. Kaya ang nangyayari dyan sa China. China is not known as ano tawag ito? Fish
Maritime,
exporter. No? Most of them, what they catch is actually
What they
consumed by
eat, yeah.
them. No?
Ang nangyari kasi sa China, yung poverty alleviation at saka eradication of hunger, they made it a political priority. Dito kasi, pag sinabing poverty, parang economic lang. Sa Marxism, as fine-tuned by Nikolai Lenin, yung economics and politics work together.
Together, yeah.
Oo.
Yung atin,
That's what socialism is all about,
Yeah,
precisely,
yeah,
so that they
oo.
can control also the not just the state controlling the people, but the people being serviced by the state.
yung poverty alleviation nila dyan sa economic team natin ngayon, and every economic team prior to that, rhetoric lang, no? Poverty alleviation, rhetoric, they don't create the economic program
Diyan nga ako
that
kinakabahan.
moves towards the real upliftment of the quality of life of people. No such thing, no. Ang kanilang programa is always, and lalo na, for example, here we're talking about a fish industry. Basically, what is that? That's production, no?
Yes.
Increase of production
Yeah.
of our capacity to fish. Fish is food, no? And also there can be a dollar earner. Pero kung ang economic program mo is towards service, no? Towards exporting your people to become domestic helpers
Instead of your product.
and call center operators, then ano to, taliwas itong production dito sa service-oriented economy.
Sasakin ko na kayo.
Oh.
Meron akong column na lalabas. Ang title, Early Discomfort from the President's Student Council Cabinet.
Hala.
At ang isang...
It's a wake-up call, ha?
Dalawa ito, series of 2 articles. At ang isang unang tinamaan ko dito ay ang ating Secretary of Finance.
Yes.
Alam mo ba, he is quoted, no less than by Marlene Ronquillo of Manila Times. No? Alam mo, quotable quote niya, ito sinabi niya, first, forget about agriculture and parenthesis fisheries, for that matter. It is a sunset sector, sabi niya. Second, in case of food shortages, just import. Food importation is the sounder economics. Sus Marius.
When did he say this?
dapat diyan tanggalin na siya agad. And
Ito ang kanya, siya ay budget secretary kay Duterte.
Oh my God.
Kaya ang agriculture and fisheries. Nakamote during Duterte. Yan, energy.
iyan si Joke, no? Ang economic team ever since before. No?
Oh,
Matagal nang nakaupo yan
Pag
dyan.
sinabi ni Sir Butch ever since before, let us go back in time. Bakit hindi na-develop ang ating agricultural sector? Because whoever, yung 45 years ng Amerika dito sa atin, they actually programmed it na we will be dependent on them lang. What they produce, they will sell to us. Pero yung agriculture base natin, so it's even beyond Jokno and all the rest, na sumusunod lang dyan sa klaseng mindset na yan. Yan ang kailangan palitan.
Well, actually, it was not really for us to be dependent on American exports. The game that was imposed on us by IMF and all of them, no, that was supported and implemented by people like Jokno, is to stop us from producing. No? We stopped producing. We converted our economy from what would have been a producer economy into a service economy. Yan si Jokno. That's why Jokno talks like this. No?
Yung una mong sinabi is what joke, no? At yung pangalawa is another joke, no? Ang economics niya is more than the study of how societies produce, distribute, consume goods and services. Yun yung service na sinasabi mo.
service.
Oh. Pero, being one who has, for the longest time, pag tinignan mo yung curriculum vitae niya, consultant at advisor sa IMF,
IMF,
World Bank,
World Bank,
Asian Development Bank,
Right.
the Western. It is really more of monitoring financial systems and how money moves around, including banks, loan, and investment.
That's right.
Nasa macroeconomics si Jokno.
Nasa monetarism.
Monetarism, ayun.
Because a monetarist economy manages an economy
The
by
sinarchist.
manipulation of interest rates
Oh.
up or down. Tapos, pag hindi nakakayanin, impose more taxes. No?
Yeah.
Kanya yun ganyan
Di
siya.
ba?
That is the only way that they've been doing.
Di
No?
ba yun ang kanilang sinasabi lately?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So ang layo talaga sa programa na yan ang pag agricultural base, aquatic base. Oo.
Monetarism is
Isipin mo,
trickle down.
no?
What we are talking about
Our-
is
The play.
bottoms up.
Yeah.
Our good president, and I'm sure he's sincere, wants to do it right. But these people in the so-called economic team, no, have a different boss. No? Definitely, it's not the Filipino people. And it seems that it is not also Bongbong Marcos. No? They have a different boss. And katulad na sinabi ni Ado kanina, iba ang kanilang pinapakinggan, iba yung programa nila. It has nothing to do with alleviation of poverty. It has nothing to do with upliftment
In
of
fact,
life of the
In
people.
order to project that there is poverty alleviation, pasok si Tulpo
Yes.
with this ayuda.
Yung ayuda.
Diba? Para kunwari nagkaroon ng
Programa.
increased capacity to pay ang maliliit na mga mahihirap, sasaksakan nila ng pera. Yun yung 4-piece. Yun yung dole out.
Yeah.
Walang production. The more useless you are, the more you become a priority for the ayuda. Kaya hindi na ako pupunta sa detalya ni Tulpo. Isa rin siya sa mga tinamaan ng
student
kulong na ito.
Well, it's only been what? 55 days or so? Sabi nga nila, 100 days nga yung honeymoon. So, konting pasensya, konting pag-observe kasi meron naman papupuntahan. Kaya,
I hope they put their act together as soon as possible.
but here we are. Pinag-uusapan nga natin yan. Water. How many episodes na tayo? Ngayon, itong kinakailangan sa fishing industry. Now we go to work. Recently, the President met with a big delegation or representatives from what we know as the informal economic sector of our country. Kaya yung ating isang title sa programa natin, Water, tutuloy pa rin natin yan sa susunod. Itong work. Itong work na ito, kung titingnan mo sino ang nagtatrabaho, anong klaseng trabaho, ano yung economic base natin. Kaya yung kamiting niya, micro, medium, small, medium enterprises. Yun. At sabi nga niya, naku, ang laki ng kanyang congratulations doon sa ambassador ng United States of America na mukhang nagka-interest na tutulungan siya sa priority niyan. So yan ang work. Paano ngayon maisasagawa at ipagtutugma itong finance minister ngayon at yung sinasabi ni President Marcos Jr. na kinakailangan bigyan ng priority yung mga nagtatrabaho na yan sa bangketa, may dalang bilaon. Yan, this, it's 93% of our base.
But those are
informal.
the smallest.
Oo.
enterprises.
Micro nga, pinakamaliit. Oo. So,
Pero may mga small and medium din dyan.
oo,
And when
magkakasama
you
yan.
talk small and medium, may problema na naman tayo. Kasi nagtaas ng ating kuryente.
Exactly.
Ayan ang problema.
Mataas na nga,
Oo.
magtataas pa. No?
So, ngayon, tama yung sa kampanya, sabi ni Presidente, kailangang ayusin ang IPIRA law, no? At si Representative Dan Fernandez na ay nag-privilege speech. Alam mo, so, magto 20 years na namatay na si Jojo Moore, ay magto 20 years na. Ngayon lang, lumabas sa bibig ng mga congressman kung ano yung totoong nangyayari sa electric, sa power sector. No?
Yeah.
Ang problema dito, i-reforma natin ang IPIRA law. At tutulak natin ang Energy Regulatory Commission para i-regulate na mabuti para yung sinasabi ni Jojo Borja na over 200 billion na collectible na consumer from Meralco. And kung sasama pa yung the whole industry, aabot na raw ng 1 trillion, ay maibalik sa consumer. Pero itong problema, ang in-appoint ng ating Pangulo,
Yung author.
ay si Popo Lutilla, Secretary of Energy. Before his appointment, Lutilla was the independent director of Aboitiz Power and of oil and gas exploration company Enexor. Ayan. Aalis na ako dun sa technicality about yung mga 2 years, hindi ka pwede ma-appoint. Kasi nagsalita na si Rimulya, pwede daw. So, we will grant them the benefit of the doubt. Pero, my goodness, shortly thereafter, lawyer Mona Lisa de Malanta was also appointed by the President as the new chairperson of the Energy Regulatory Commission. De Malanta, who served prior to the commission, worked as the chief legal counsel and compliance officer of Aboitiz Power Corporation. Ako'y naguguluhan. Paglinawan ang apelyido ko, pero kung pwede lang
Hindi ka
ay linawin niyo sa akin ito, dahil consumer groups are now pessimistic, no? On the reform of the IPIRA following the appointments of 2 former Aboitiz key executives into the official family of President Marcos.
Baka naman tiningnan na because they had experience there, ay makakatulong naman siya sa ating pagbabago ng patakbo ng ating energy sector. So, yung kanilang background sa Aboitiz, siguro ang pagtingin doon ay that is, yun ang kanilang
Pwede.
di ba?
Well, kung ganyan ang
Yun
kanilang,
ang kanilang
kung ang kanilang
backpack.
base,
Kumbaga backpack nila yan.
right. Pero kung yun lang ang base nila, talagang mahina tayo sa gobyerno. Kasi ang babasihan mo, hindi lang yung so-called experience. Yung experience, dagdagan mo pa. Ito pa yung letters coming out of their, after their name that they were graduated this, and from this school, and from these courses. And you put that together and you said, all right, make them a secretary. You do not know how the guy thinks. Understand first, what is his direction? No? You want to put somebody in energy. What is it that you want, you as president, want to happen pagdating sa energy sector? You check whether this person is capable of doing what you want. No? Not on the basis of, oy, bata ka pala ni Aboitiz, so you have many experiences there. Oh, I like where you graduated cum laude and all of that bullshit, so you can put it in. If that is the only way, student council cabinet nga ang makukuha mo. No?
Si Marlene Ronquillo na naman ng Manila Times ay tatanggalin tayo sa ating silya. Ito ang kanyang sabi. The head of a diversified conglomerate who is of Basque descent has been named head of the newly created body tasked to strengthen public and private sector partnership. Related
Patay.
ito sa MSMEs. The Private Sector Advisory Council. Sabine Aboitis, a close friend of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., is the CEO of the Diversified Aboitis Group. So,
Ay, nako.
So yun na.
pwede nang pag-nobena na ito.
Oh, nakita natin yung
Nobena na.
yung background, yung dala nilang backpack and qualifications, zeroing in on the oligarch's name, yung si Aboitis. As I've said, baka nga yun ang tiningnan ng presidente na qualification sapagkat alam nila yung palakad ng Aboitis sa energy. So, makakatulong sana.
One thing lang, excuse me, I just want to divert because before, when Marcos was still campaigning, and I am very, of course, I supported this campaign in the sense that I wanted him to be president and not the other one. No, now, but my worry has been this. No? I think I said when it comes to addressing the problems we have with the oligarchs that are in control of the public utilities, specifically energy and water, I said he may not want to touch them. Why? Because these people who are heading the companies like Aboitis, Sobel, and so on and so forth, no? Kababata niya yan, mga yan, barkada niya yan, nung presidente yung tatay niya. Yan yung mga mayayaman noon, yung hindi naman nila kontrolado ang industry, pero kababata niya yan. No? They were barkada. No? And so, pagdating niya ngayon as president, no, malamang hindi niya bubuwagin yung hawak nitong mga ito sa public utilities. Kanya isa sa mga sinasabi niya, kailangan palakasin natin yung public-private partnership. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Palakasin natin ang negosyo ng Aboitis, no? At ng mga Ayala. Kasi barkada ko yan. Kasama ko yan sa mga parties eh. No?
It appears that if there is anything the president isn't about to do, it is the nationalization of energy as his father did.
Yeah.
His detractors seems waylaid in their conclusion that the fruit does not fall far from the tree, or that the son of a former dictator has his father's political genes when the saying different strokes for different folks seems to be more applicable. Crossfire!
Crossfire talaga. Nais kong isingit naman. Ganito. Sa experience ko covering the father, President Ferdinand Edralin Marcos, marami rin ng panahon na yon na talagang magbabatikos, magko-comment, mag-criticize at sinasabi ganito, sana ginawa niya yan, sana ganon, sana hindi yun na in-appoint. Kagaya ng ginagawa natin ngayon dito sa Crossfire. But I remember during that time na sinasabi nga, there is only one person at the pinnacle of power. Siya lang ang nakakakita ng lahat ng nangyayari. We are not in that particular position. Kaya kung meron siyang halimbawa na ganito ang choice niya at hindi natin nagustuhan, sapagkat meron siyang nakikita na tayo hindi natin nakikita because we are not there. Remember, pinnacle of power sa pinakatungtong na yan talaga na nakikita niya at nararamdaman niya at nalalaman niya lahat. So I would like to give the 52, 55 days of President Marcos Jr. that particular prerogative na sapagkat sa maikling panahon, sabi nga ni Sir Butch, ang mga barkada niya yan or whatever it is, choices, decisions being made, siya lang ang talagang nakakaalam yan. Hindi natin nakikita ang kanyang nakikita, hindi natin nararamdaman ang kanyang nararamdaman. Naalala niyo nung kay President Duterte, sabi nga, yung kanyang bench sa Sambeda, mukhang yun dun lang siya pumulot ng mga taong kasama niya sa boarding house sa Sambeda at mga kaklase niya. So there is the leeway that we have insofar as decisions and choices are concerned. This is not in defense only of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., but it is a defense of the office of the president itself. When the president makes a decision, when he makes a choice, when, according to Yen Macabenta, there is a difference between an error and a mistake, naku, mahabang debatihan yan. So, yan, Ado, ang masasabi ko. And Sir Butch, it is true.
Yeah.
Na mga kaibigan niya yan.
Basta tayo ay
yeah.
gising at nagbabagman, ay tama na yun sa atin.
Okay,
Well,
so,
right.
but it is good that we are bringing this out at this particular
Concerned lang
stage.
tayo.
Yes, very much so. Very much
Kasi
so.
pagdating sa small and medium enterprises, key ang low-priced electricity.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
At sa
How the president brings us there, nasa kanya.
At sana makita niya yung sinasabi nga ni Sir Butch, pagkahaba-haba ng panahon dito sa Katipunan ng Demokratikong Pilipino, ano bang ibig sabihin ng Demokratikong Pilipino? Hindi demokratiko ng Russia o ng China o ng ibang bansa na allied with America. Atin ito, sariling atin. At sabi nga ni Sir Butch, sa haba ng panahon na ang sinisigaw natin ay public service should be taken over by the government. Hindi pa hawak sa mga yun na nga, sa
Private
mga
sector.
sa private sector. Ang sabi naman nila sa kabila ay baka hindi kaya ng pamahalaan. Hindi totoo yan. Nakaya yan for 21 years na lahat na nakapaligid kay Ferdinand Edralin Marcos sa kanyang kabinete were not oligarchs. They were not even politicians. They became politicians later on nung kinailangan na ma-elect sila to be members of parliament. Pero pag makikita mo yung linya ng mga sa kabinete ng ama niya, mga technocrats nga ang sabi. So, titingnan natin kung saan ang ang pupuntahan nitong ating bagong pamahalaan. But as I've said, let's give him the benefit of time. 55 days into the honeymoon period. And so whatever choices and decisions, but as Sir Butch and sabi nga ni Ado, mahalagang tingnan natin talaga the source of it all, which is the energy sector.
Punta ngayon tayo doon sa waste.
Sa waste, oo.
May time pa tayo.
May time pa
May time pa
tayo sa
tayo.
waste. Yung waste na yan, Ado, Sir Butch, sasabihin natin na sa tubig naman yan. And water everywhere, but we have problems. Not only flooding, but the sewage na konektado din sa mga humahawak ng ating water system. Noong baha noon, mabilis umagos. Ngayon, hindi makaagos kasi yung pumping stations ginagawa pa kasi puno ng basura. Kaya ang umaalsa sa tubig sa kasama na yung basura. That's the waste. Sayang. Bakit nagkakaganyan?
Next week, ako'y magdadala ng illustration
Okay.
to explain kung saan nanggagaling yung basura.
Exactly. Yan ang-
Pero sa ngayon, ang masasabi ko lang ay inuna kasi yung dolomite. Sabi nila, hindi raw yung dolomite ang nag-cause ng flooding doon sa Ermita Malate. Pero sabi ko naman, maaari nga na hindi nabara ng dolomite or whatever yun. No? Pero sa akin, bakit inuna yung dolomite kesa yung mga pumping station? Ha? At alam niyo, kailangan talaga strategic tayo mag-isip para priorities natin hindi lamang doon sa tubig, kundi mga kaagibat ng mga forces and resources ay isang kumpas ang dating natin. No? Ngayon, ang naiisip ko lang ngayon kasi, nagsimula ang kaguluhan na yan sa orderly ang ating flood control. No? Ang unang ginawa sa Metro Manila ay yung Napindan Channel sa Pasig River to prevent the salt water of Manila Bay to go into Laguna Bay. Meron niyang puwerta. Ganun. Ang pangalawa, how the waters of the Sierra Madre Mountains and the mountains, high hills of Quezon City, diyan bumubuhos ang tubig, sinasalo ng Marikina River. Ang nilagay naman nila dyan ay dalawa, yung Rosario wire, ibig sabihin ng WEIR ay also floodgate, malaki nga lang, no? Piniprevent niya yan para umapaw sa Manila at dinidiretso niya yan sa Pasig, Manggahan, Floodway, papunta sa Laguna de Bay.
Laguna de Bay.
Laguna de Bay becomes the
Catch.
natural impounding system. Yan, mga kabansa. Tinapos ni Marcos yan. At nung matapos yan, nung 1986, dapat simulan ang pang-anim at huli. Na pag naipon na yung tubig sa Laguna Bay, ay ilalabas sa likod, sa bandang sukat, paglalagay ng Parañaque Spillway, para pag-aapaw na ang Laguna de Bay, ibobomba palabas sa Manila Bay, yung sobrang tubig.
Right. O, anong nangyari doon sa spillway?
Ang nangyari, mga kabansa, minotball ni Cory Aquino yung Parañaque Spillway. Hanggang ngayon wala pa ho tayong
Nagtayo ng subdivision. Yung kaibigan ni Cory doon. Yung sa
at
spillway.
hinarang yung project para tayong gumawa, I'm sorry for this analogy, para tayong gumawa ng kubeta na walang flush. No? So, waste kasi. Waste. No?
Yan.
So, yun lang ho, doon nagsimula ang kaguluhan. Kaya ngayon, yung tubig, hindi na maintindihan kung saan lalabas. Yung dating piniprevent, no, na tubig ay umaabot na po sa Laguna at Bulacan.
Right.
Dahil walang labasan doon sa bandang likod. Umaapaw, may, water will sink each other.
Aapaw talaga dahil sa
Diba?
dami ng tubig.
And because our sewage system has not been properly attended to, kaya hindi lang tubig ang nagbabaha sa atin, pati yung basura.
Sewerage.
Yung
Yung
sewerage,
systems
ayan.
natin.
Hindi ba yung...
Yan. Ang sewerage
yung-
systems natin
kasama
naman.
sa water yan eh.
Kasama na yan
So,
sila Pangilinan at Ayala. No?
Pag ikaw ay nagtapon ng basura sa tubig, babalik sa iyo yan. Pakikita natin yan next week.
Yeah.
Kung paano nangyayari.
Exactly. That's how it goes. Yan ang pinag-uusapan natin na waste. Hindi lang sa nasayang ang panahon na hindi ito naisagawa, yung sinasabi nga ni Ado, kundi maraming nasasayang sapagkat hindi pinapagpatuloy yung sinasabi nga niyan, strategic planning. Kaya ang ating pamagat dito sa Crossfire, water, work, and waste, tatlong bagay na umiikot sa atin, ngunit kahit na tutukan natin yan, ay nag-iintay pa rin tayo. Yung sinasabi natin, how it can be done. Sapagkat marami na tayong nadidinig ng mga meeting-meeting at lahat ng mga pagsasalo-salo ng mga ibang sektor, ngunit ano ang dapat gawin?
Right.
Exactly. So, tingnan natin yung mga meron na tayong mga reactions yan. Lawrence Robert Tampus Halpin, correct, kailangan ng yelo.
Yelo.
Yan,
May
sa Basilan,
nakausap
problema
po ako.
nila.
Yeah.
Wala sila kuryente, pero mayaman sila sa isda. Sunset Issue daw ang agriculture, kaya umalis si Secretary Piñol bilang agriculture chief. Ayan. Jinky Bell, naway magkaroon po tayo ng katulad ninyo na may kaalaman tungkol sa politika, economic, magkaroon ng ganitong usapan para maraming Pilipino pa ang matututo, ma-inform ng gusto, etc. Ito pong ating programa ay nasa YouTube, sa Facebook, sa kung saan-saan pang sa social networking. Pwede po niyong panuurin ulit. At kailangan yung mga nanonood din sa ating pamahalaan ay makinig kay Ado, lalo na sa kanyang mga ideya dyan. Christopher Cruz, good afternoon. Walang maghirap ang walang maghirap ang bayan natin
Walang
kung
K.
epiralo, junk epiralo, and renationalize the whole power industry. Tama po yun. Ronnie Bautista, joint oil exploration with China. Meron na po yan. Sana ipagpatuloy. Watching here, Lynn Dagusan, watching here in Rome, Italy. Very informative. I love watching all the videos of Rita Gadi. Fairness, tama nga. The more useless you are, the more you are the priority. Teka, mag-ikaw. Okay. Sa susunod, tatalakayan natin yung kay Tulfo naman. Happy weekend po sa inyong tatlo, Ma'am Rita. Thank you very much. Baybayan Sally, watching from Beijing, China. Okay, we will get there with your, yan, sa Beijing, maraming matutulong sa atin dyan from there. Romel Picar, mabuhay po kayo. Salamat.
Austria.
Candelaria Barrientos, watching from Austria. We had tennis champions ng mga Barrientos, you remember? Ramon Dulay, this is worth watching. Yes, thank you very much. Jinky Bell, hello mga sir at ma'am, watching from Germany. Oh, guten
Germany pala
Abend.
siya.
Daisy Inigo, good PM, Sir Butch, Sir Ado, Ma'am Rita, thanks for live streaming again. Mabuhay po kayo watching here in Hong Kong. Warren Fontillas, hello, watching from the United Kingdom. Arroyo Janet, labasan na yan. Whatever that means. Carol Villanueva, good Saturday morning community. Tuning in from Portland, Oregon, USA. Desimina, sana po nag-apply kayo para meron pagpipilian. Galing na po kami doon. Arlene Dairit Ibe, how are you, Miss Gorgeous Rita? Thank you very much. Be safe. God bless. Rosalina Mond, good evening, Madam Rita Gadi, Sir Butch at Sir Ado. Thank you very much. Teresa Manea Saladino, watching from Honolulu, Hawaii. Sana ay makabakasyon tayo dyan. Aloha, yes, indeed. So this has been Crossfire, and you have seen how we have discussed several topics and trying to crossfire exactly, not just one another, but also the topics concerned. Abangan po ninyo sa darating na Sabado. Dako, ito pong student council na pinag-uusapan ni Ado, mukhang iisa-isahin natin yan para makagraduate na from being student council to being actually what we need today. So maraming salamat, Sir Butch, Ado, for having joined all of us and our viewers for Crossfire. This is Rita Gadi.